Fusing his love for art and baking, a Filipino in New York clinched the first runner-up spot in the second season of Netflix's reality baking competition, Is It Cake? And we have him joining us this morning all the way from New York, Miko Kaw Hok Uy. Good morning, Miko, and welcome to New Day.
Hi, Paolo. Good morning. How are you?
It's such a treat to have you. I'm great. Listen, Miko, your talent is being recognized everywhere. You were on Netflix's Is It Cake 2, and you also did a Disney Plus show called Foodtastic, and that's really just scratching the surface. Take us back to the beginning. How did you first discover your love for art and baking, and of course, how did your Filipino roots play a part in shaping that passion?
So basically, I started art. At a very very early age, at the age of 4. And then after that one, I never missed a summer. I attended art workshops until I graduated high school. And then after that, I took up fine arts against the decision of my parents,
Okay.
because they wanted me to take up something related to something like medicine or courses like business courses. But I really wanted to take up fine arts because it's my passion, it's my love.
Right.
And so after that, I worked as a teacher for 5 years, 3 years in the Philippines and 2 years in China. But then my passion in cake decorating is very strong, and then so I decided to quit my job as a teacher and go back to the Philippines to study baking and pastry arts. And then that's how I ended up here in the States, because I was given an opportunity to do an internship at Mason Kaiser, where I worked for 2 years, and then I had another internship at Ron Ben Israel's.
Okay, well, you have quite a bit of experience under your belt, and this was your passion that really sort of drove you, on a road towards where you are now. But you did, as I understand it, have your hesitations in doing your audition for Is It Cake. What was that about, and why did you finally decide to give it a try?
Because basically, I am more of a wedding cake decorator. And then when they called me, when one of the casting producers reached out to me, she asked me if I want to audition for the show. I was like, I was kind of hesitant because, first of all, I don't do a lot of like 3-dimensional cakes, like sculpted cakes. But then I was like, okay, why not give it a try? I have a background in arts. I did some sculpting before. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to nail this one. But it was not an easy decision. I had to think, several times before I said yes to it.
And look where it got you. I mean, you were all the way pretty darn close to the top, and I think I consider you, the winner of the show. As far as I'm concerned, with your Mona Lisa piece, it really was mind-blowing how you put that all together. Miko, do you consider yourself an artist first and a baker second? Are those two things? Can you separate those things, or is that part of the whole package for you?
I was an artist first, it's just that I was exposed to the baking world because of my aunt, because she's also a cake decorator. And that was, I think, in my 3rd year or 4th year high school. And then, so I was like, oh my God, this is kind of fun to do. And at the same time, it's basically the same, because cake decorating is basically the same as like, painting on canvas or sculpting 3-dimensional objects. So I was like, okay, why not give it a try?
You make it sound easy. Look at how, I think people should realize the level of skill and really the scale of your creations. It really is mind-blowing and amazing. Miko, listen, how has life changed since you did Is It Cake? I'm sure doors have been opening. I'm sure you've got opportunities, sort of, people trying to break down your door and all kinds of offers coming your way. Is that what it's like now?
Kind of, but not really crazy.
Okay.
But one thing for sure, that I find really weird is that before, I'm just an ordinary person walking on the street, and then after the show aired, people would
recognize
stop you.
Yeah.
Just because they're like, oh my God, you are Miko and Is It Cake? And I was like, oh my God, people recognize me now.
In a city as big as New York, really.
I've been receiving a lot of offers. People are sending me messages if I could make them cakes and things like that. So yeah, it has been crazy. And actually my Instagram blew up after the show aired. I've been receiving a lot of like um direct messages, private messages from people. It was like more than 400, 500 messages,
Wow.
private messages that, well, I mean, I've read everything, but I try my best to like respond to them, to reach out to them. But it's just that it's too much for one person to handle. So, but then rest assured, I was able to read all of their messages.
Okay, well, aside from answering all of your DMs, what's next for you as far as your career goes? I'm sure there are many things you still want to do. What's on the horizon for Miko Uy?
This coming November, I will be in the Philippines. I will be visiting the Philippines because I'll be attending a cake show. It's the Cake Fiesta Manila.
Okay.
But aside from that one, I'm planning to, start my business here in the States, here
Okay.
in New York. So I'm crossing my fingers. It's not gonna be easy,
Uh-huh.
but big things start with small steps.
Okay, well, this is definitely a step in the right direction, and I think you are going to be the exception to the case. You can actually have your cake and eat it too, Miko. Thank you so much for joining us here on New Day.